In this video, I'm going to be answering questions from my Discord Ask Me chat. I put up a text channel in my Discord for anyone to ask me anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! Or even not about Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, I've gotten 3 questions in the last month. It's a pretty slow Discord right now, but hey, if you want to ask questions for the next video, go ahead and join the Discord. Link is in the description below. Go over to the Ask Me text chat and ask me whatever you want, and I will get to it in a video just like this. So, going all the way back, we have someone ask me, have you ever considered playing Memento? I've played the deck a lot, and I think you would like it due to its high skill ceiling, similar to Branded. Okay. I have not really considered playing Memento myself, but I think that I agree. I would probably enjoy playing it. It's just I have none of the cards, and honestly, it's just an inconvenience thing for why I haven't played the deck at all. Also, I just have this problem where I have too many decks right now. So, Memento, I don't know, it doesn't really fit the bill for what I would consider picking up as a new deck. Like, I would have to go out and get the whole thing. There's a lot. It's kind of expensive if you own none of it, like Bone Parties and Anguishes and all that kind of stuff costs money. You know, it's probably not that bad anymore, to be honest. But at the time where it was most relevant, which was like a format or two ago, yeah, I don't know. I am interested in playing it if I could get it for cheap or if I could trade for the whole core at once, but honestly, there's so many decks I have in my lineup right now that I'm not looking for another one. But yeah, overall, whenever I do like tier lists and stuff, I always have Memento up kind of at the top. And I do respect its quality and its power. It's just honestly, the cards look weird. Like, I don't really want to play that deck. Is that a reason to not want to play it? I think so. Like, I don't know. The freaking Akihiron and Goblin, like, I don't want to play those cards. They don't feel cool to me. I'm not, like, proud to be playing a Memento card. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather be playing Rescue Ace or Mermail or something like that, and I already have those decks, and I barely even play those, so I guess in summary, like, yeah, Memento's cool, but it's not really for me for, like, stupid reasons. Okay, next question is a little bit of a longer one, but I'll still read it out. Hi, I'm a longtime player, and I ran across your YouTube account years ago when I was looking for text and advanced theory behind Magical Musketeer. You had some very solid deck theory and takes over the years on the deck as more cards proceeded to come out. Would love to collab with y'all on decks like that in the future. Right now, I'm pretty locked into 6 Samurai and a ton of older decks. I'll probably go back to Nordic, Azir, or Generator soon too. My question is this. I rarely toss out the terms broken or OP when it comes to this game, but it seems like with the release of Mitsurugi, it's sort of breaking the game a little. That deck can't even be wiped by non-effect removal such as Kaiju or other tributing board removal. Do you think there is any meta counterplay, or will we start to see the rise in more niche and deck-targeted counterplay strategies? Okay, let's break that down a little. Let me start with the top section here. Yeah, appreciate the shout out back to the Magical Musketeer days. That was my first deck that I built a YouTube channel around. I just put out constant Magical Musketeer videos back before like Fiendsmith was even a thing. Like, this was years ago. So yeah, shout outs to that. Now let me get on to the second part. I rarely toss out the terms broken or OP when it comes to this game, but it seems like Mitsurugi is breaking the game a little. Okay. I can understand where you're coming from on that, because I played a lot of testing matches against Mitsurugi, and I think I'm I won 1 game out of 10, like, at best. So I can see where you're coming from with that. But I honestly think it depends what deck you're playing with. Like, Mitsurugi will just wipe the board against a lot of decks and you don't really have a chance. But there's a lot of decks that I think will have a much better chance against Mitsurugi. There's decks that don't care about getting their board wiped by Amino. There's decks that can play counters, like board breakers, that are a little bit more attuned to beating the ritual setup, like cards like Droplet, cards like Triple Tactics cards are going to be really nice too. But I really think that it kind of depends on what's going on. And there's evidence that the Mitsurugi deck is not broken. For example, it hasn't won any YCSs. It's not even like the most represented in Top Cut. Like, it's like the fourth most represented in Top Cut, maybe. So, like, hold out hope, first of all. And I really think that if you're playing decks on the level of like Six Samurai and stuff, like, Six Samurai will have a hard time going second against any deck. And Mitsurugi kind of just emphasizes that because, it excels at going first specifically. So, like, if you're facing down a Mitsurugi board with Six Samurai, you're probably going to lose no matter who's playing the Six Samurai deck. So, I guess my advice would be either accept that you're not going to win against Mitsurugi if you are going second, at least in game 1. You can side more heavily for Mitsurugi games 2 and 3 for going second. And yeah, you noted that you can't count on Kaijus or Kurikara or any of that kind of stuff to clear the Mitsurugi cards, but what you can do is play stuff like Lightning Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster to clear the back row. That way they have no way to tribute their guys, and then that way they have no way to clear your board when you start playing. So you kind of have to readjust, like, hey, what is the actual problem? How is Mitsurugi beating me when I go second? They're beating me because they're able to tribute their Mitsurugi guy with the quick play spell or with the trap card, and therefore it comes back and wipes my board, and that's a real problem for 6M, right? So what you do, instead of siding into stuff like Kaijus to clear the monster, you need to side into stuff like back row removal to clear the way to tribute the monster. So it's kind of like a go to the core of the problem, or like look at different ways to tackle a board, look at different ways that there can be choke points with these decks, to try to figure out how to manage it, essentially. Okay, I hope that helps. Let me know in the comments below if that makes sense, or if you have any kind of like follow-up. And then I think I have one more question here. Yo, I dig the content. Thank you. I'm gonna try and learn Plunder Patrol to better my technical skills. I wanted to ask, do you think the engine style of Yu-Gi-Oh has helped or harmed deck building creativity? Okay, that's a really good question. I'll start off with the plunder part. I really do honestly think, I'm biased a little bit, but I honestly do think that Plunder Patrol is a great deck to practice technical skills with, because there's a lot of interactions, a lot of nuance and that kind of thing. It's not an easy deck to master. So I do like that decision. Of course, I love Plunder Patrol, but okay. Do you think the engine style of Yu-Gi-Oh has helped or harmed deck building creativity? Okay. The engine style of Yu-Gi-Oh, okay, the way I would define that is having like small, like 5 to 10 card packages that you can just put into any deck. I'm thinking like Fiendsmith is the most obvious example. That's 8 cards in the main deck to, have a whole Fiendsmith engine, right? And then we have decks like Horus. That's like 5 to 7 cards in the main deck. We have engines like Kashtira, which might be anywhere from 3 to 8 cards in your main deck with Fenrir, or if you're playing Unicorn and Birth in the field spell. Overall, I really like the engine aspect of Yu-Gi-Oh! I like being able to kind of mix and match engines, and I think if we don't have engines like that, every deck is going to be pure whatever, pure Ryzeal, pure Plunder Patrol, pure Malice, and there's not really going to be any way to innovate. Okay, the innovation I feel like comes from being able to mix and match these things, finding synergies between the engines and whatever the main core of your deck is, and being able to kind of experiment with that. Plus, like if you're kind of trying to innovate with individual cards, it's not going to be consistent enough to really test whether it's a good idea or not. Like if you are testing just a single card in one of your decks, you can only see if it's good whenever you draw it, right? But with an engine, you can usually search it, or you can access it via your extra deck and that kind of thing, and it's going to be easier to tell whether your idea is good. So for that reason, I really like engines in deck building. I like being able to pick up engines, and another reason, kind of a more practical reason, is that I like that I can pick up an engine for one deck and then play it in another deck. And when I want to switch decks around, I don't have to buy an entire 40 new cards. I can just buy, you know, the 15 cards that I need and use the same engines that I've been using for my other decks, right? So I think that's how I feel about engines in Yu-Gi-Oh! Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And that wraps up the questions that I have in the last month. If I get more questions next month or more questions sooner, I can do these videos sooner, like more frequently than a month. But until then, I hope you guys enjoy this kind of content. Go ahead and join the Discord. Ask me whatever you want in the Ask Me chat, and I'll try to get to those pretty regularly. So yeah, with that, we'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll see you soon.